It's your boy Wizard Hat here in Wzrdlair 1.0, hanging out in my new studio space at my new apartment. So excited. It's been a really difficult last couple of months. That's sort of really what this whole episode is going to be about. Mostly just like trying to catch y'all up on what's been going on with me. I sort of got some notes right here. Probably mostly just going to read from my script so I can keep on task and stuff so I don't ramble too much. But basically, it's been a crazy last couple of months with the computer troubles I was having. I sort of had to put Wizard Hat business on hold. That was really difficult for me personally. It was difficult mentally to step away from doing music, but I am a wizard, and despite not being able to do a whole lot with new music or projects, I sort of dug into the vault a little bit and realized that I still have plenty of stuff to keep the ball rolling with. Basically just like, my extensive back catalog of music that I have. So with that, I released my new Wizard Hat single, Say Me. I got a lot of love from my peers, my friends, and it was really refreshing to return to making music for myself, which was originally sort of what brought me here and where I am now. I even got to hear my song get played on our local hip-hop and R&B station out of Fayetteville, KISS 105.3. That was a really big moment for me personally. I was out at a show, I think it was at Pasha's, and DJ Virgil Boggs, aka the Street Plug, shout out to KISS 105.3, DJ Virgil Boggs, D Sewell, Spider-Verse apparently is on up there at KISS 105.3 now. I just saw that on Facebook just within the last couple days. Those guys do so much for local hip-hop, and just like big love to them. Nothing but love. But anyway, back to my script, I guess. I found myself humbled and determined more than ever to keep building the Wizard Hat brand after, having the awesome opportunity to get my music played on the radio. And I reflected a lot on the fact that that experience sort of reminded me of what my goals were, and that was making music for me. So in the time since I had been back in a planning phase, sort of, with me having my computer troubles, Wizard Hat being on hiatus and all that stuff, I still managed to keep the ball rolling, having music to drop, but that's just because I was lucky to have stuff in my back catalog. So I sort of spent some time working on marketing, or not really working on marketing, just more so trying to get up on keeping up with it and sort of being regular about what my sort of engagement with people is. Eventually, after I think a couple of months, oh, I don't know, I didn't want that to do that. I'm gonna have to log out of iCloud. Anyway, after some time, eventually my grandparents helped me with getting a new computer, and my grandparents helped me out by, giving me a little bit of money to help out, and we spent all of what was left, or really it wasn't what was left, it was all of what we made from the Tragedy Collective shirts. So shout out to all you guys who bought a Tragedy Collective shirt. Thank you so much. I literally wouldn't be able to continue working or get this new computer without you guys. And that's been such a blessing. Back to my script, I guess. As with most things in life, that was only part of the journey towards bouncing back. Getting a new computer was but a step in the right direction. I still had to, load it up with all the tools necessary to get back to work. Plugins, software, like drivers and stuff to be able to use my hardware, which luckily, like specifically for my hardware, wasn't too difficult, but that wasn't really all I was worried about. I basically ended up spending an entire day troubleshooting. Loaded up a time machine backup from my old laptop. None of my plugins worked, and that ended up not. I basically sort of reevaluated and was like, okay, maybe I don't want to just load it up with a bunch of junk from my old computer. So I tried to reinstall the operating system and flash the hard drive to, just sort of wipe it. That went basically in the process of getting the computer and reinstalling all the stuff. Just about any difficulty that I could have encountered, I did encounter, and it sucked. After a whole day of troubleshooting, some frantic phone calls and Googling, and eventually taking the machine back to the store to be serviced, the computer was up and running and ready to be dedicated to my purpose. And yes, taking the computer back to the store after it literally basically being brand new out of the box sucked. I basically, that day of troubleshooting, I cried. I thought I bricked my brand new computer straight out of the box. I was pretty upset. But as things tend to, everything sort of blew up at once. My family's infighting had just been getting worse and worse. And the news, I get news that my grandparents aren't well, and I was really stressed about that, just by default, because I'm very close with my grandparents. My grandma and my grandpa are really important to me, kind of very much parental figures in my life, as much as I am, close with my mother, and I do have a relationship with my mom. But it was really tough. I was sort of going through the personal dilemma of feeling guilty for being away from my family because I moved to Fayetteville and I don't live in Rogers anymore, so I don't get to see them as much as I used to after working at the store, for the last like 5 or 6 years, I guess, basically. Seeing them every day, not seeing them, and hearing that they were struggling and that my grandparents were sick and that everybody was like, not getting along, was really stressing me out. Luckily, my grandma ended up getting better and recovering really just sort of without a hitch. But my grandfather fell ill, and basically, I would say in a matter of about 2 weeks from getting sick, like him being sick, he was hospitalized, put on a ventilator, and then basically just didn't make it. And that was really difficult. Like I said, I'm really close with my grandparents. My grandpa especially was just sort of always like a father figure to me, and losing him really felt like a personal blow in a lot of ways. Even as much as I'm not the only person in my family that's affected, it really, like, me personally, I really have had trouble with that. I was and am still devastated. There's been times where I felt like I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it. But if anything, as much as I struggle and it hurts, if anything, it's made me feel like I have a renewed purpose. About 10 days after my grandpa passed, I got a text. I had taken several days off of work just because, I just couldn't be there, couldn't really do anything. And I got a text in the middle of my first shift back to work and saying that I basically had to get my stuff and get out of where I was living, which kind of sucked. I had less than 24 hours notice to get my stuff out. I had left work at probably about 4 o'clock, which was halfway through my shift. I was supposed to stay till about 8 to close the store. And more or less left work, had to leave halfway through my shift. Told my boss, I was like, look, I'm sorry I have to leave, but if I don't leave now, I'm going to be moving till 2 o'clock in the morning. And I was moving till 2 o'clock in the morning anyway. Moving all my stuff by myself in my Jeep out to my mom's house. It was just a whirlwind of like stuff to deal with. My feelings were so mixed around. I was just focused on figuring out my next move, you know, especially with me not having a place to stay at that time. After about 3 days of being out at my mom's, I sort of ended up getting into an argument with my mom because, you know, we sort of have a complicated relationship, I guess you could say. And, yeah, so I was booted out of there, and I ended up leaving. This time I headed out with a basket of clean clothes, and my backpack with my studio rig, my computer, and thankfully I ended up staying over at now a really good friend of mine's house named Drake, and bless them, because it was tough. I really felt like I had nowhere to go, and ended up staying there for about 2 months, almost exactly 2 months actually, and fucking just sort of being at Drake's, it was chill because they, you know, even though I sort of was couch surfing, you know, the hobo on the couch type situation, they were very welcoming, and we had a lot of good times, and they never made me feel like I was a burden or anything like that, and bless them for that, because where I am now, having my own place, I think this is like a new chapter in my life, and I think it's going to be a good thing. But after 2 months of sort of, I guess, let me just return to my script really quick, that way I don't leave anything out. After 2 months of working, sleeping on a couch, grinding out beats, being at Drake's, I got to bring my computer rig with me, and they, you know, didn't really ever mind me just sitting with my TV set up, my computer set up in the kitchen or in the living room area. Basically just sort of tried to get back to work, cooking beats. I recorded a song. It was mostly just a demo for the time being, but kind of just tried to get myself back on track. I applied for a couple of different jobs. I've been working at Journeys since March, pretty steady, luckily. Bless those people as well. My coworkers are all really nice people, and have sort of had my back, like in a couple of situations where, you know, like above and beyond sort of being coworkers type thing. And I really appreciate all of them. Big love to them. Store, I can't even remember what store we are at Journeys. Anyway, but yeah, that's pretty much everything. I was just sort of looking around. I applied at a couple of different places. Worked like one day at Taco Bell. Ended up not staying on there just because restaurant work is not for me. No disrespect or anything, but it's just not for me. I'm too sensitive. I'm definitely an art worker versus like a manual labor type person. But basically poked around until I found this apartment, which was like almost perfectly within my budget. Has 2 bedrooms, got a whole room for my studio now. Yeah, it's been like a whole 180. Life has it's been a pretty interesting journey, 2021. But yeah, been homeless twice this year. Fucking got dumped over the phone a couple of times. But now I got my own apartment and I have a place to work, and yeah, been a wild ride. Thanks for tuning in. If you actually sat to the end of this whole video, and you are basically like you want to work, hit me up. I'm gonna leave this right here. That way, if you got this code, I know where you got it. I set up a 30% off coupon for all my stuff that's on Beatstars. You can find me on Beatstars. I'll put it like right here, beatstars.com/WZRDH47. Beats, Wizard Hat Beats. WZRDH47 is all one word, and it spells Wizard Hat. You pronounce that phrase Wizard Hat. It's funny to me how people don't get that. But anyway, I have a coupon code for all my stuff on my Beatstars. It'll get you 30% off an exclusive. My exclusives are $100, so that drops it down to 70. The code is WZRDFAM30, WZRDFAM30. Put that code in, and it'll get you 30% off on an exclusive, and let's do work. Basically, my whole goal this year is to, or not this year, I guess this year's just about over, but I'm sort of trying to reintegrate myself back into doing all of my, like, since I have a studio space now, I'm gonna try to get back into actually taking clients. I have a few people that I've worked with in the past that obviously I might try to get back with and get them in here and start recording here from now on, instead of, me bringing my rig and going to them. But yeah, give me just a second. Let me double check that code. I'm pretty sure it's WZRDFAM30, WZRDH, or WZRDFAM, FAM 30, all one word. Let's work. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut this video off here because it's already like 17 minutes long.